Russell Wilson, guys, I spoke to him 3 weeks ago, and I got no indication that he would at all want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The fact, Jalen Hurts, you say, oh, he's not accurate. You learn those attributes. That's not something you just go into the NFL and that's who you are. He learned to be a quarterback. You have to learn to go out there and diagnose stuff. You have to run stuff before you can see pre-snap reads. I didn't just come into the NFL and be like, all right, I'm going to go out there and block Mr. White, Reggie White. Rob.
Welcome back to the show. The middle, Barrett Brooks, Harry Mayes, and there he is, Rob Maaddi. You see him, you love him, you read him every day. The Associated Press, at Rob Maaddi on Twitter. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for jumping on.
What's up, fellas? How you doing? Look at Harry rocking that mustache, man. Wow. I thought that was like a November thing. You carried it over into December?
I did, and the reason I did is because I was thinking that Minshew might get the start last week, and sure enough, he did, so I had to keep it. And now since we're in the bye week and in the midst of a full-blown quarterback controversy, I can't shave it off.
Is it really? Is it really a quarterback controversy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
here's the controversy. Here's the controversy. Neither one of them is the guy.
More likely than not. Yes, likely. Gardner isn't. I'll tell you that much. Gardner isn't. I'm still not convinced that Jalen isn't. I think it's trending towards that he's not. But I'd like to see him get now it's 4 more games to see what he can do.
Yeah.
As he should, man. Give him an opportunity. Usually you give quarterbacks 3 years to show who they are. You know what I mean? He's not going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, and you know what is unfortunate? It's hard to really look at a quarterback when you're in a rebuilding, retooling, whatever you want to call it, year, and accurately, fairly assess his ability on that one season when you're still growing. You still got a rookie head coach, a rookie coaching staff who are really learning on the fly. Like it took Nick Sirianni about a handful of games, almost a quarter of the season and beyond, to figure out what he wants to do offensively. So to put it all and definitively say at the end of this year that Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, I think is going to be unfair. But I do believe eventually that's the direction they're going to go. Now, he could come back, light it up for 4 games, go into the playoffs, win a game, and then they'd be kind of forced into giving him another year. But I just get that feeling that since before the season started, when they were looking into Deshaun Watson, when they were looking into moving up in the draft, they didn't think he was the guy from that point. So he was operating from under the gun,
from a deficit
all along.
Yeah. Well, let's just say, they don't take a quarterback in the first round of the draft, which I don't think they should. I don't think there's anybody up there that really dazzles me enough to spend a first round pick on. And let's say Deshaun Watson only wants to, he wants to go to Miami. He doesn't want to come to Philadelphia. Green Bay doesn't want to send Aaron Rodgers to another NFC team if he leaves Green Bay at all. And Russell Wilson, you're left with, maybe a Russell Wilson. I would take a shot at Russell Wilson, but who knows if that doesn't happen? Maybe he does get his other year simply because they don't have any other moves to make.
Yeah, Harry, that's a great point, because I also look at this quarterback class and I don't know that anybody is definitively clearly better than Jalen Hurts to where you're going to have to start over and do it all over again, and you're not guaranteed anything. And then those are the 3 quarterbacks we always look at, right? Aaron Rodgers isn't coming here. I think he'd rather retire before he played or came to Philadelphia. Deshaun Watson, it would have to be the only option. It would have to be for him. He's already said he didn't want to be here, but it looks to me like I know he wanted to go to Miami. Tua has come along nicely the past few weeks. Now, they've won 5 games in a row. They actually have a shot. They're right there in the mix. Does Miami now want to mortgage some of their draft picks and move on? So Deshaun might be in a position where if you want to play, it's got to be in Philly. Russell Wilson, guys, I spoke to him 3 weeks ago, and I got no indication that he would at all want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know that Eagles fans want him. Listen, I will give up anything for Russell Wilson. I think at 33 years old, He flat out told me he wants to play another decade. So he's looking at playing into Tom Brady age years, like 42, 43. And I think he could be really elite for at least 5, 6 of those years. So you would give up 2 first-round picks or more for Russell Wilson. I just think his options, he probably would rather be in New Orleans, Carolina, Pittsburgh, all over Philadelphia. And maybe things change. And if you can convince him to want to come here and play here, heck yeah, I'd go after Russell Wilson. But I don't think it's the end of the world if you get another year of Jalen Hurts and actually use those 3 first-round picks, guys, to build around them, to build a defense, and use 2 of those for defense and use 1 maybe at another skill position, or bolster that offensive line, because you're always going to need offensive linemen.
Yeah, you look at the master, you look at Belichick, and look how he won this game. It's December. They threw the ball 3 times. Now you see that game plan.
Yeah.
Why doesn't a young coach like Nick Sirianni look to that and see that's definitely something that they could do? And it doesn't matter who's at the quarterback position. I mean, it really doesn't matter when you have an offensive line that can run the ball like that. Why don't they think more towards that than trying to rethink the wheel? You know what I'm saying? To me, it just doesn't make sense. I've seen Trent Dilfer, I've seen Brad Johnson win Super Bowls.
Doug Williams.
And Doug Williams. I've seen him win Super Bowls, and
Timmy Smith.
They're not blowing up. Yeah, they're not blowing up, the stat boards throwing the ball. I mean, why can't they think conceptually, forget wanting the superstar? How about we just build around what we have, take advantage of what we have? What's wrong with just running the ball with that offensive line? What's wrong with it?
Barrett, man, I ultimately I think it should come down to winning football games, and whatever you got to do to win a football game, that's all that matters. I don't need a quarterback who throws for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns with 120 passer rating. If that quarterback can run for 100 yards and open up the open up the run game to where you're just manhandling teams up front, and you're able to run for 175, 200 week in and week out. I think what Belichick did last night, this is a copycat league, and we know that. I don't think teams all of a sudden are going to start throwing 3, 4, 5 passes, but I do think some teams are going to look at it and say, hey, if this is our formula for success in a given game, let's roll with it. Force teams to stop you at what you do best before you try and do something else. You don't need Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers to win football games. And listen, the way the Eagles turned this season around, we all know, is by committing to the run. We saw it. They started to commit to the run, and they started to win games. And until teams can stop them, the Saints came in here with the #1 run defense in the NFL, and the Eagles ran it down their throat. If you could run it on a team like that, you can run it on anybody. I just wonder, man, how much input Jeffrey Lurie has in this with his fascination with the star quarterback and the franchise quarterback and the passing of the ball and all of that stuff. And Jalen Hurts doesn't mean he can't be a guy who throw for 400 yards occasionally. We saw some glimpses of that. We saw Arizona game last year. We saw the Dallas game last year. We saw a game here or two earlier this year. But if his success rate is best doing what you're doing now, and you can win, you're 4-2 in the last 6 games, one of them with Gardner, ride with it, roll with it.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see the day where Bill Belichick would turn into Ken Niumatalolo on the sideline, but he did it, and he won the football game, so props to him.
He even showed some excitement. Did you see him at the end of the game? Yes,
well, I didn't see it at the end of the game. I saw it this morning.
Okay.
But I did.
Yeah, I'm like, Belichick smiling, fist pumping. What's going on here? Tom Brady leaves, and all of a sudden he's a new man. He's spending money in free agency. He's drafting quarterbacks. He's doing all kinds of things different. But
the Judon acquisition was genius.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, he's all over the place. But Rob, you brought up a great point that I think I forget about sometimes, and I think other people do too. It's not just us sitting here and maybe 1 or 2 other teams. You mentioned New Orleans, you mentioned Carolina, Pittsburgh, add Denver into that mix. There's so many other teams in the NFL that are dissatisfied with their quarterback situation, that between however many draft picks get pushed up into the draft, like they always do between now and the actual draft, they get overdrafted. and these veterans. And, I don't know. I think there might not be anything else for the Eagles to do but to ride with Jalen Hurts for one more season.
Yeah, and of those teams we're talking about, they all desperately need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? You look in New Orleans, I don't know what Sean Payton sees in Taysom Hill. Because he's got to be the only person who sees that in Taysom Hill.
Yes,
I'd like my
absolutely.
wife to look at me the way he looks at Taysom Hill. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we've seen this year in and year out with Taysom Hill now. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. They need to go in a different direction. Carolina is going to have to go. Cam Newton came in there and gave him a jolt of energy for a week. And maybe now he can recapture some of that magic. But they go as Christian McCaffrey goes, and he's always injured. So I think Carolina is going to – they need Jalen Hurts more than the Eagles do. So all of these teams really got to go out there and try and do whatever they can to get that Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, whereas the Eagles can be like, hey, at least we have a guy that we know we can win with. And now when you look at what they have coming up, they're 6-7, 4 games left. They're going to be favored in at least 2 of them, maybe 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know if it's going to matter to Dallas at the end of the season. The Eagles should make the playoffs. Like at this point, I've reached where I'd be disappointed if they don't, because that means they would have lost games that they should have won, kind of like they did to the Giants 2 weeks ago.
Well, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, it doesn't matter to me who's at quarterback right now. It doesn't matter. You have to build on what your team is.
And what happened to Barrett?
Barrett he's gone.
He just disappeared on us.
Oh,
now,
man.
Rob, we're going to get to a lot of other stuff, not just Eagles here. But what are your thoughts? There he is. Now, what happened?
I don't know. The
dog pulled out the plug.
Knocked himself out, man.
What were you getting into there, Barrett?
It doesn't matter who's quarterback. It doesn't matter if Minshew, it doesn't matter what Hurts. You got to run with what works for your offense. And the offensive line is a run-blocking offensive line. They struggle when it comes to passing. You know what I mean? They really do struggle. So why keep bumping your head against the wall when you can just, run the ball successfully? Until somebody stops you from running the ball, then we'll think about passing the ball. But until then, just run the damn ball, man. And, it works. It works. And Jalen Hurts is good enough of a quarterback to make that offense run. I mean, if he, I see, guys on the stream talking about, well, I don't want a quarterback, a running back moonlighting as a quarterback. No, Jalen Hurts is a quarterback. He's just the new wave quarterback. The days of sitting back in the pocket and throwing like Tom Brady, those days are over with. That's not what they do. That's not what they do at the quarterback position now.
Guys, when I hear people say, and I had somebody say that to me on social this week, that Jalen Hurts is a running back. My man's been a quarterback his entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been a quarterback who's won at elite college programs. He's now won some games in the NFL as a quarterback. It's the same kind of thinking that people wanted to have. Oh, Lamar Jackson, such a great athlete. Let's make him a running back. I mean, even scouts thought about that, right? And all he did was win NFL MVP in his second season in the league. And right, Michael Vick. Oh, let's make him a running. No, come on. He's a quarterback. That's what he's been. That's what he's always been. And I think that Jalen Hurts could be a better passer in time. He just needs more work, and it doesn't. I don't feel like you ought to give up on somebody when you're having success one way, winning. And all of a sudden you go, no, let's blow this up. Let's bring somebody else in there in the hopes of they can be better or they can do – unless to me it's Russell Wilson, unless it's Deshaun Watson. And you know what? I don't even want Deshaun Watson with all the baggage that he's got going on. Like that's a whole other story. That's a whole other issue. Talent-wise, yeah, clearly he's a better passer. He's a better football player. He's
top 5.
Yeah, he's a top 5. He's great. But man, all that stuff when you read about, and he's still got to have his day in the court of law and all that stuff, and it was disturbing, man. It was disturbing. So
well, I'm not even worried about it. I don't even want him. You know what I'm saying? just looking at him. But the fact Jalen Hurts, you say, oh, he's not accurate. You learn those attributes. That's not something you just go into the NFL and that's who you are. He learned to be a quarterback. You have to learn to go out there and diagnose stuff. You have to run stuff before you can see pre-snap reads. I didn't just come into the NFL and be like, all right, I'm gonna go out there and block Mr. White, Reggie White. I had to learn first how to go out there and block. Then I learned how to block guys like that. And we're not giving him necessarily a fair opportunity to really learn how to play the quarterback position. You can see things happen before it happens, but you have to see it first. Then you'll remember it. Then you can go adjust to it. And they're not allowing him to really do that.
But if that doesn't happen, like in the next year and a half, I mean, there's a ceiling to being a quarterback that ends up being your best running back in the NFL. I mean, Lamar Jackson, what does he have? One playoff win? I mean, at some point, it you can't win you can't get to that next level unless you become a better pocket passer. Is that fair?
No, that's entirely fair, Harry. Yeah. And I think that's been the knock.
Even with the guy with
Lamar.
Buffalo, too.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
But you're right. I remember in 2019 in Lamar Jackson's MVP season, a coach in the NFL said to me, teams are going to figure him out. And now here we are. It's 2021. They haven't figured him out, but they are able to beat him in playoff games. He won one game. He's 1-3 in the playoff games. And I think there are certain things you have to be able to do. You have to be able to throw the ball when you need to. I mean, Nick Sirianni said this 2 weeks ago, right? After the Giants loss, he said, when teams know we're going to pass the ball, we're not having success. And they need to improve. Jalen Hurts needs to improve as a pocket passer. That goes, we all agree with that. But I want to see him. Let's exhaust that possibility, right? Let's see if he can over the next 4 games into next season and before we pull the plug, unless you know for sure the guy you bring in here is a certified stud.
Okay, they said, so the streamer's asking me, name 5 teams that just won a title with a run-heavy offense. I think that's how the last Super Bowl was just won, with a run-heavy offense.
And a good defense.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how you win championship with running ball.
You know what's crazy? If you look at the top 5, or you look at the 4 teams that make it to the conference finals the last 5 years, I did this story like last year or the year before. At least 2 or 3 of them are top 5 running offenses. Top 5 running offenses to get there. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the team that won, but to even get in that mix, you have to be able to run the football. And like you both said, hey, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. I think he's the greatest of any sport. He's the GOAT of all sports. But they beat the Chiefs last year because they dominated defensively, and they were able to. That's how they were able to win that game.
And that's what wins championships. My first the Super Bowl I won. It was not Big Ben out there tossing the ball around.
Oh, he was lost.
He looked like he was lost. He's like a
lost
puppy.
Yeah.
But we were able to establish the run the ball.
The bus? Was that the bus?
Yeah, the bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
We ran the ball and played great defense. That's how you win championships. Tampa Bay did it. Even Russell Wilson, and he won his first Super Bowl. They were run-oriented team. You had beast mode out there. You know what I'm saying? And a great defense. That's how you win, man. Yeah. And people want this big flashy quarterback go out there. How many Super Bowls did Marino win?
0.
He
play in 1?
Yeah. Exactly.
He played in 1.
Yeah.
Against Montana.
I think it's really it's glamorous to have that quarterback, and you ultimately are going to need that quarterback to win certain games. And there are games you're going to have to go out there and win 35-31, 42-34, and you're going to have a guy who lights it up. But if you can get to that point and build up to it and win games, like ultimately I just want to see a competitive football team go out there and win games. And I know it's not old school football. I know you're not going to go out there and run 70% of the time week in and week out, but you can win in this league by running the football. And Belichick proved it last night. And they're now the number 1 team in the AFC, the number 1 seed, not just in the division, in the whole AFC.
Right.
We might see the Patriots we might see a Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl, Belichick versus Brady. Yeah. Because if teams have to go through Foxborough to get to the Super Bowl, whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's Baltimore, whoever it is in the AFC, Tennessee, Indy, if they somehow sneak in there, it's going to be hard to beat that team in that cold weather when they're able to play sound football, good defensive football, and run the ball like they did.
Next game for the Patriots is against the Colts in Indianapolis.
Is that right?
Saturday night
Oh.
football. Yeah, they have a bye this week.
Oh,
too.
that's is that the Christmas night game?
It's no, it's the week, but it's before Christmas.
Okay, because Colts are playing on Christmas also, so they're playing. Yeah, wow.
So we got our first round pick now, right? Well, we'll have it after this game.
I think one more quarter, something like that.
One
more quarter. Get through another quarter and you get that first round pick. But
how about the running back they have out there, man? Now that's running football. Like, I don't want my quarterback to be my number one rusher. I want a guy like that.
Jonathan Taylor is a beast, man. You give him the ball 30 times. Like I don't know what the longevity is going to be like on his career now. He's getting the ball 30, 35 times a game, but they're riding him this year. And I think that this again in a copycat type league, now you might be able to see more teams wanting to do that. If the Colts are having success doing it, Patriots are having success doing it, Eagles might sneak into the playoffs having success doing that. Ride these guys, and when you do and you win like that, other teams are going to try and mimic that formula.
Well, at the end of the day, man, I love the fact that this run-oriented offenses are starting to come back into the fold. When I first got in the league, Dallas ran the ball. I mean, everybody ran the ball. We ran the ball. The Eagles ran the ball, and that's what wins championships. But I do see teams like Arizona.
Yeah.
Where they don't rely on their quarterbacks to win as many games as most teams do. You look at
but he's a 70% thrower though too.
Yeah, but he hasn't been there.
He can run though.
Yeah, and he can run. Yeah,
he can. Yeah,
but he hasn't even played. He's just came back within the last 2 games.
Yeah, he missed 3.
But that system that they have, that they've implemented, in which they're run heavy, is the reason why you do it. And that's why I'm saying I don't care who's at quarterback. I love Hurts, and everybody's like, well, you see what Minshew did. They put up all those points. Well, I really think if Hurts played against the Jets, he'd have put up 50 points against that defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not. I knew going into this game, like people are going to come out of it and want to give Gardner Minshew all this due and all this credit, and he did a great job. He did what he's supposed to do. He's a backup quarterback, stepped in there against a terrible football team and led the Eagles to victory. And that's not to say that they wouldn't have won with a even greater lopsided margin with Jalen Hurts. They weren't going to lose to the Jets regardless.
That defense is horrendous up there.
With a defensive coordinator as a head coach.
I know.
Right? A guy who was so highly coveted. And I like Robert Saleh. I thought he was going to come in there and change some things around. And they're just the same old New York Jets, man.
He inherited a mess, though, bro.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to have an aneurysm on the sideline at one time. I forget exactly what. Oh, it was when they jumped off sides on a fourth down.
Yeah.
And it gave the Eagles first down.
He was like 10, 15 yards on the field. How he didn't get flagged, I don't know. Like he really looked like he was about to give one of the refs the stone cold stunner or something. He was flipping out. I was like, dude, all right, let's go.
I was waiting for him to be like that kid in the handshake line in that high school basketball game last week in Iowa. We went boom right in the gut and then
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh man. Oh,
a kid in a handshake line did
yes.
that?
Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
We played it on
big
the
kid
show.
too.
Yeah,
it was a big kid, and he was a little short, point guard like type of guy.
Yep.
He just laid him out, man.
Right in the solar plexus, and then he went up to the jaw.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I know you've probably seen the video of the dog at the Flyers game.
Oh yeah,
yesterday, right?
I mean, that was pretty symbolic.
Exactly. I mean, that basically sums up the last 10 years of the organization.
10, Harry, you're giving them too much credit.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah.
35, 40 years of the organization, man. Well, it's all about the crest on the front of the sweater, though, Harry, not the name on the back.
Oh my goodness. Barrett, I know you've seen that, right? The German Shepherd.
The police guy, and he stops and just right there. I'm like, was that just like on cue? And it was like right in the middle,
of the
Flyers crest. Yeah. Right in the middle. I'm like,
the day they fire their coach, it could not be more symbolic. Man.
I know. 9 in a row.
It's kind of like what Philly sports has been.
Really?
Right.
When are we gonna get a break, man? When do we get a break? When can we have nice things? And that's I'm just thinking, man, are we this cursed to be like this? It all started with Sam Hinkie, man. That's where it all started.
When Ben
got
Simmons gets traded for C.J. McCollum and a couple of draft picks.
Can't wait for that to happen.
I know.
That's gonna be great.
I can't wait either, man.
Well, hey, at least the Phillies don't have to do anything right now, so they can't pass on guys because they can't sign guys.
Exactly. Yeah. How long do you think that goes?
I think this might extend a little bit, man. When I look at both sides, what MLBPA and the MLB are both fighting for, they both have legitimate gripes. So when you have two sides that have legitimate gripes, it's hard to come together. Like if one of them was really far-fetched and crazy, then you go, okay, they'll come to their senses. But I think they're going to dig in and it's going to be into spring training, which is unfortunate because I love that time of year. You know, I'm a whole lot closer to spring training now. It's not a plane ride. It's a 10-minute, 15, 20-minute ride. I go see any team I want to. Yeah, man. And it's 80 degrees today, guys. It's a good day.
Now, Barrett, you should have seen the other night, Rob posted a picture of dinner that his wife had made. Lasagna.
Ooh, that was my birthday lasagna. Guys.
Oh my God!
Happy belated, man. Happy belated.
Thank you. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. My wife was born in Egypt. I grew up in South Philly, so I've had a whole lot of pasta and lasagna, and she makes the best lasagna ever, man. She for an Egyptian-born wife.
Well, see, you got to go with what works, man. Keep you, man. She's trying to keep you, bro. So hey, you're all good.
She hooks me up, man.
It was mouth-watering.
What part of Florida you at?
I'm near Tampa.
Yeah.
Well, I am. Yeah. I'm flying into. I'll be up north, man. I have to go to Valdosta State game this weekend.
Georgia.
So I'm flying into Jacksonville. No, I'm flying to Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, close.
Up in the Panhandle area.
Yeah. So
I'm like a hop, skip, and a jump from $1 place, so I get to go see the GOAT weekly. It's like 4 reporters are there. It's not like we're going down to NovaCare where there's like 20 guys gathered around to ask Jack Driscoll questions.
Wow.
Here you got Tom Brady over there. It's like 4 of us, 5 of us asking. He looks up and he's like, "This is all we got. That's it." So it's like Super Bowl champion.
Wow.
You know? So it's pretty cool, laid back. Nobody cares about anything, man.
Arians has got to be great though to cover.
He's a good dude. He's a no nonsense guy though, man. He tells it like it is. He don't hold back, and that's fun. That's fun for media. You know, he don't hold back at all.
Well, he's like that as a coach too. I was with him I was actually with him a little time in Cleveland, and then I was with him when I was with the Steelers. That's my guy. Ask him about me. You know, tell him I said hello, man. That's my guy. Oh, that's my guy. Yeah.
That's right. He was there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was in Pittsburgh, man. You know, he used to be on Big Ben, man. He's like, Ben, I don't care who you think you are. And that's how he would start the sentence up. Ben, I don't care who you think you are. He's got more soul than I do, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He got more swag than me, man. BA is that dude, man.
Yeah, he's got the Kangol hat on. And he's got he just commands respect, right? In that locker room, they all respect him. I was so happy to see him get his Super Bowl last year. It's like one of those football lifers, guys like that who deserve it. So go for him. And hey, they got a real shot, I think, this year too. And I think it's the Packers and Tampa Bay. I look at Arizona as a team that, you know, we saw what they could do in big games against great teams like Green Bay. They lost in that game. I just don't. I like what they've done there and the progress that they've made. And I thought Zach Ertz addition was great. But I'd put my money on Rodgers or Brady over Kyler Murray right now. And, me too. And that's why I go Pack. Whoever gets the home field, the Pack or the Bucks, in that game, because I think they might be one of them could overtake Arizona for the 1 seed, and we'll see. Even if not, nobody's going to be afraid of going to Arizona. Now in 2 months, I could look like an idiot, but hey, we'll see.
Enjoy the holiday season, Rob. If we don't talk to you between now and then, man, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
You too,
follow him on Twitter at Rob Maaddi and also the faithonthefieldshow.com. All right, we're going to take a short time out. Be back with more. We got John DeCarlo from Al Scoop coming our way at 12:30, but a lot to do between now and then right here on The Middle Show on a Tuesday. JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Smash that like button. Out.